Okay, so I had Twitch open in the background, so I just closed that. Well, I checked. There's somebody I was gonna subscribe to, part of the community. So I didn't see the only three people I'm subscribed to. So I subscribed to Ruby, obviously. That was the first one. And then Jeremy. Dirty Delish. Kinetic Kel. And Gamer of the Damned. Although really Dirty Delish and Kinetic Kel's streams don't really conflict with Ruby. It's not really the same community. I mean, they're part of her community. All these moons. They're satellites. I'm just bored. I'm relaxed though. It's fine hotel. Oh, it's spacious. I have to say my first date here, I was like surprised how spacious the rooms were. Something about the so when Ruby said that she was gonna come yesterday, because I heard that. Well, anyway. Oh, Ruby. So I went after I had a little light breakfast. I went over to my coffee shop when I hang out at. On my way there, I stopped by because yesterday evening I pulled my luggage. I walked up the street with the luggage and. Riding a bicycle, trying to pull luggage, I just didn't see how that would really work out. So, it's like a 10-minute walk. So I'm going that same direction. Well, I get so excited when I hear like a vibration. It's like, did somebody text me? Probably just a notification of Facebook posts or YouTube uploads and stuff like that. So I walked back the same direction I came, stopped by my apartment, got the bike, I had it hooked up out there with two other bikes. It's a kind of a messy thing. So I get up to the coffee shop, spent a couple hours up there. On my way back, because I was going to ride my bike up to the hotel, and then do like a swap in the morning or something. So I had use for it. I had something I wanted to do. Oh yes, the water sewage treatment plant is like a half mile up the road. So I was gonna ride my bike up there and inquire about doing a tour. Doing like not on YouTube because I don't have 1,000 followers. Without 1,000 subscribers, and without 1,000, I can't live stream from the app. So this is going to be something for my other streams. And I was just like, how cool would that be? To be like, have you ever seen Late Night with Dave Attell or Up Late with Dave Attell? He would do these, almost like Mr. Roger-esque type of tours of things that maybe most people wouldn't think were entertaining, and yet field trips. So I was gonna go up there and see if they had like tours where I could go around and see about doing a stream where I just do a stream. They can explain how our sewage water gets recycled and cleaned, purified. It's for the water system. But fortunately, right as I was passing my apartment, I just felt something. And I looked down and I'm like, oh, is this tire getting flat? The front one. So I get off my bike and yep, sure enough, the front tire has gone flat. So I'm right in front of my apartment. I go and I hook my bike up and I walk the rest of the way up here. So I have 3 bicycles with 5 flat tires. These tubes, I just don't know. I just don't know. I got a good week, 10 days, 2 weeks out of riding this bike, so I think DoorDash does Walmart. I'm just so disgusted with it. I don't really have a good workbench area. I'm not allowed in the garage. You know how much more, I've had 2 $200 pull carts stolen. A $5 or $10 one, the flimsy one I got at the thrift store. It's just one thing after another. Oh, to have access to the garage. With the bathroom the way it is, I might as well live in the garage if I had access to it. I wouldn't have to walk up and down the stairs all the time. I could actually, I could also move a lot of miscellaneous boxes down there. Oh, to have a storage. They actually have storage for all my hoarding stuff. Mostly books. However, the art collection is pretty interesting. It's one of the big issues that I have is, I suppose survival comes first, and when survival means money, see, we got a lot of people in the community who this is worth money. You know, sell it for $1,000, man. Look, that comic is $1,000. You want to buy a $1,000? No. I'll get you $500. The Pokemon cards are very interesting. They've been holding steady for 2 years from my observation. Well, longer than that. I'm just a new person. Pokemon cards. Wow. They show the value of these cards, and these guys are just hustling cards. So I'm do you actually see with Magic the Gathering? I actually see people playing Magic the Gathering. With Pokemon, it's almost exclusively opening cards and going through. Where's the money one, man? Where's the money one? So you don't seem to really want to sit around and enjoy things or talk about things. A friend of mine bought me coffee. He's one of those. Well, I could imagine that the brain, because I was talking in the stream this morning about how I couldn't sleep last night. I'm just under so much stress, and my mental health is so much better than my dad's mental health at my age. Oh, he had stress. Not that I'm not getting there, because I have stressors. I don't know. Hey, Dad, do you think people were targeting and trying to kill you? Yeah, he was kind of not in a political. He was just struggling to support 3 boys. At my age, my dad was struggling to keep a roof over. Well, I would have been gone in a Navy or college by this time. Yeah, I think I was in college. Well, anyway, before that, I just remember we were visiting my cousin, and my cousin's dating this guy. He's like 30 years older than her. He's like my dad's age, right? My cousin's dating this guy, and he's my dad's age, and she's like 20? No. Maybe I'm exaggerating. I'd have to go back and do the math. So anyway, he hikes trails and stuff, and we're like, Dad, why don't you be more like that, not doing and in shape, and not verbalizing that. Oh, gobbledygook, just in time. So my dad's like 48 years old, 2 years younger than I am, and he's just with my younger brothers there, who would be still teenagers. Because it's really hard when you like kind of trying to provide emotional support with your parents, where you expect the parents to be emotionally supporting you. And he said he'd dropped dead of a heart attack at 53 years old, cleaning carpets. That was the future he saw for himself. No retirement, no savings. Just the life. Of somebody who only gets paid when customers call. No guaranteed hourly wage. No guaranteed monthly salary. Just unless a customer calls you for a job, you don't get any money. I made more than him as like an E3. When I joined the Navy, my first paycheck, I made more than him. I didn't really think about it that much. I just remember being so uncomfortable because I would be like $700 a month. $700 a month. And my nickname in the family was Mr. Moneybags. Now, mind you, this is $700 a month cash. I didn't pay for room and board. I had an assigned room with a roommate. So I had a roommate, maybe two roommates at the time. I think we started out with three roommates, or three people. So here I have a free room. And the food is free, and the medical care is free, dental care is free. So basically I had $700 a month play money, and I really didn't think about it in that way. My dad might make like $600, $500, $400 a month, and we were getting Social Security and stuff from because my mom passed away and survivor's benefits. And he had to pay all the rent, the bills, food. So now looking back on it, I can understand just the stress gobbledygookish. Hey, what did you think of Ruby's stream last night? That was kind of sudden. I checked to see if you were streaming. I didn't want to conflict with anybody, so I saw that nobody's streaming. It looks like you guys have been doing more streaming. I think you guys have been more of the streaming thing than I've been doing. So I don't know, people taking breaks. You have quite a library of stuff. So my tire is a flat. Yeah, I'm just sitting here staring out the window. getting my freaking body chemistry all up again. I figure it's, well, if I finish this by this can by 2 or 3, I think the effects of these wear off after like 5 to 6 hours. And then there's a swimming pool outside. So I'll probably go take a little dip in the pool around 6. Also order some maybe KFC. And I have like some vodka, not vodka infused. I don't really feel like drinking tonight. But I do have like my THC infused soda. Yeah, I'm just gobbledygook. Are you the one? Because I saw a short where you were talking about a passport, and is it Jeremy's going to try and make arrangements? Are you in the UK? Where are you at, gobbledygook? Gookish? Yeah. There are a lot of shows that they're just watching streaming. I want to do stuff. Like, that's another thing. I want to do stuff in real life. And it's really hard to do stuff in real life when you're sitting here when I'm sitting here monitoring all these streams. Have you ever watched H3, like the H3 show? Okay. Interesting. Oh, Mr. Deadman. I'm supposed to like subscribe to Mr. Deadman, but I don't think it was Mr. Deadman because I'm not subscribed. Really interesting. Okay, you're in SoCal. Well, anyway, I was watching the H3 show because those are the ones that one of the first, like when they're talking about before. I think it was before COVID. I think it was before COVID lockdown. They're talking about, was mentioned the same breath as PewDiePie. Now I don't even know if PewDiePie even streams anymore. I remember the rally around PewDiePie. They're encouraging people to subscribe to PewDiePie because PewDiePie was the largest YouTube streamer. Millions and millions. I forget what they said. Like 30 million. I think he got 65 million, right? Well, and it was for a long time. It's PewDiePie, the largest, most subscribers on YouTube. And then one day, a channel that played trailers for Bollywood movies passed PewDiePie. And there were so many people on Twitter and like freaking out. It was like, we must support PewDiePie. We must support PewDiePie. Subscribe to PewDiePie. Don't let these Indian channel be the big. We gotta support PewDiePie. I thought they lived in expat work opportunities and things like that. Japan seems to be a pretty popular destination for Serbia. I was watching there's Jake and Bake Live Japan or China. Well, anyway, there's a streamer on Twitch, and I was watching the other day because he's there. I'm like, oh, he's one of these guys with like yellow fever. These guys who go over because they have like this thing. They just think like the Asian chicks are the most beautiful, and they travel to Asia where all the beautiful women are. And so I thought he's like that. And he starts talking. He starts talking in their language, like really good. Like he's sitting outside, and he's just he knows the language. Maybe he's one of those people who learned it. Well, I went to South America. I hear people go to other like Thailand. Or Vietnam. There was a thing where I met some people and they like taught English in Vietnam. And they're like, you don't need to know their language because they actually encourage you not to speak to their students, and it's like an immersion thing. So I hear those are really popular destinations. Well, anyway, PewDiePie was just a thing because those were the big streamers. PewDiePie, and then there was this other really popular comedy show. And then they were talking about like this guy and his wife. Well, I kind of feel bad. Because I tuned in, and he seems one of these gossip shills that points fingers at people. Is it James Charles was talking to a 16-year-old? Now, if I say a guy was talking to a 16-year-old, what does that mean to you? Yeah, he's Swedish. So last time I thought he was living in Sweden, but his wife isn't. You know, strange as his wife isn't Swedish. She's like Moroccan or something. Marza. Well, when he got married, it was kind of like a little blip on the internet thing. And PewDiePie got married. He's off the market. And you think he's like, because like a lot of like Swedish pride people were like, oh, he's a Swedish guy. And they were expecting him to marry a Swedish woman, and then he like betrayed them. Oh well. Oh, what was the other thing he did? He was in negotiations with. Oh yeah, that was a big one with them. He was like signed like a $10 million contract with Disney, and then he said online, you know, Jeremy's like one of Jeremy's two favorite words. And mine. He was playing that game, and he said, and he's like, and they had a clip, so he clipped it of all the hours and everything. It's so close. He's gonna get a Disney Kids show. Well, because most of the audience was young demographics, and then he's like playing, oh, you, and boom. So back to H3, the H3PO or something. I was watching it before I streamed because I just can't take it. I just can't take it anymore. Can't hear a whoop whoop. Look at these watches. In a capsule, he's like the perfect example of our of the what do you do when you're just a salesperson, when you've been promoting product, you promote product, this is your product, you promote it, you're promoting product. And people just get so sick and tired of product. I was watching PBD this morning, and they're doing advertisement for their shoes. I was watching, there's this like, I forget what it's called, the Outpost. Outcast Outpost. Somebody's a new little smaller channel that I came across in my algorithm. I was watching it. And they're like doing two things. They have a segment on Ibiza, Spain, 50 years of raves or something. So they have a thing about Ibiza and the raves and the beaches. Like visit Ibiza. And also like shoe commercials. Ooh. But it was the whole James Charles got caught talking to a 16-year-old. He's talking to, what does that mean? It was like Destiny talking to a 15-year-old. What are you doing texting a 14-year-old? Well, like if they, and that's see, so I watch that stuff, and I think about it. I think about things that like my niece is 14. My other niece is, well, actually, she was 12 when I saw her 3 years ago. She's 15. More my cousin's daughter, but it's like, you know, when you have these, you just refer to them as most common for people to understand. So my little cousin niece Raina, she was going leukemia. She had leukemia when she was like 10 years old, 9 years old. My brother's daughter had a kidney removed when she was like less than 1 year old. I have a college friend I went to, and I went to her and her husband's wedding, and they had a 2-year-old, and that was like one of the sad things on Facebook years ago. And I'm just doing this like calculation of the number of children that have like are in hospitals constantly. You want to keep your kid alive, don't you? Okay, you think he's trying to develop like the intimate, like seducing, like a Harvey Milk. Well, I understand that people get that reputation, and well, in the homosexual community, apparently they do prefer young, good-looking men who look like women. However, I was just thinking, like, what if it was like a nephew? Or, because what if the kids reach out? What if the kids reach out? Is the ice dancer. So I watched a little bit. Ruby posted an edited clip of last night's show where she was focusing on Mersh's and his like wife's or girlfriend's breakup, and she posted a picture of what is her name, Ice Dancer. Well, it's funny because it's like Ice Dancer has a Burger King crown, right? There's a movie that I don't know the name of. Maybe it's called The King. I don't know necessarily. Anyway, it's one of those boring and cringe movies because it's a lot of talking and not much action. What it revolves around is this young man. Well, it begins. So there's a preacher, a small town preacher, and he has a church and assembly, and this kid walks in. I can't remember if he's in his Navy uniform or if he's like, because he's just gotten out of the Navy. Young kid has got out of the Navy, and he has his letter, and he finds the address. He's sitting in the church, right? He just walks in church. He's watching this guy, watching this preacher, and he's preaching, and it's after services, and the kid walks up to him, and he's like, "Are you so and so?" And preacher's, yes, son, that's me. I'm glad to see you coming to church. And he's like, "Sir, he explains, like, his mom has passed away. I don't remember if that was after or before he joined the Navy, but he's a child of a single mother. Is a single mother from a port city." And she's passed away. The kid had joined the Navy like his father did. Because, see, the woman has written a letter telling him who his dad is. So the mom left a letter for him because he has no family. Guess she didn't have much family or anything, and maybe a prostitute, who knows. So all he knows is that his dad was a sailor. They made a port call. He's born. Dad has sailed away. Dad doesn't know this bastard kid exists in this port that he made a port call in. Because to the community, he has only ever been with his wife. See, he's one of those types of people. He's only ever been with his wife. They waited to marriage. They're like this perfect, like the really good Christian family. And because that's his story that he tells everyone, when this kid says, my mom says that you're my dad, he freaking, get out, and just kicks the kid out. He's like, refuses to acknowledge him. And the kid's like, so he doesn't leave town because he really doesn't have any place to go. He doesn't have any place to go, so he hangs around. And he's like, he knows this is his dad. And he befriends the brother, and he befriends the sister, who that'd be his half-brother and half-sister, but he doesn't tell them. He doesn't tell them about that his mom says that's his dad also. So he doesn't tell them. He's just like, just still hanging around. Becomes friends with the brother, and then starts dating the sister, unbeknownst to the preacher. And one thing leads to another, and the preacher has like this change of heart and invites the kid to church. But I think the kid's already his sister, right? I can't really remember the order of things. This is kind of one of those types of dysfunctional situations. And so the preacher acknowledges his sin and introduces his son to the congregation. And, well, sister's pregnant. He's already has this, later as it goes on, his sister's already pregnant. And when the preacher man finds out about this, another blow up. Needless to say, the kid ends up shooting the man's wife, his brother and sister. I think there was another little kid involved. And shows up to church at the end of the movie covered in blood and like, do you forgive me? Because he's like a Christian, right? Well, there's a scene in there, like really, because he's sitting all alone at Burger King. And he puts his little Burger King frown on. So I have a book that I got from the dollar store, or Dollar General, because I like the little $3 novels, and I have a big collection of them. I like to support those things. And it's called The Half Sister. I can't remember who wrote it right now. But it involves two sisters. They're both married. One of them has a couple of kids. The other one's having trouble conceiving. It's Kate and Lauren. And they're sisters. Their dad had passed away like the year before. And then during like a little Sunday family get together to keep the routines going with the mom and the two daughters and their husbands, there's a knock at the door. And the knock is from a woman named Jess. And Jess comes in and proceeds to be like, is Alexander, whatever his name is, the character's name. And I'm like, no, it's like he's my father, right? So in this case, and then they kick him. I haven't read it. I only read the first little brief thing of when the strange girl shows up at the door, claiming to be the daughter of their dead father. So when I saw that picture of Ice Dancer with the Burger King thing on, it's like, what are the chances? There are so many. There are so many people out here stressing out. Well, when I was living with a certain young lady, the topic did come up. She didn't know who her biological father was. Is that too much? Is that oversharing? I don't think so. Because if we survive long enough to be like in the same place, talking and recounting our experiences, it's gonna be like Mike, Uncle Michael. Remember when my cousin didn't find out about your previous marriages until she was 15 years old? This girl didn't find out that her her dad who raised her wasn't her bio dad until she was 15. What a coincidence, Mike. Preacher man? Yeah, my uncle's a preacher man. And apparently, before my dad passed away, he says he thinks his brother lies a lot. I'm a good Christian man. I've never cheated my wife. In fact, I've only been with one woman in my life. I've always been one of those people's lies. I won't they talk about freaking, I'd be banging prostitutes and leaving little bastards, little jail and everything. They lied. They straight from the devil. They ain't possible. Keep that cotton swab away from me, you Satan worshippers. You ain't gonna put me. That's a lie. That's a lie. Keep that picture. Keep that cotton swab away from me. Yeah, he probably will. Because he that friggin' that half of him. Yeah, he's violent. He is fucking violent, and if that's the Marine on my Facebook page, That's some reading on my Facebook page. We have a big issue going on. Is he stalking? Is that a fucking serial stalker? He said hurtful words online. No, he's a rapist. I'm accusing him. I'm accusing him right now. That's a freaking roid rage, probably a Joe Rogan, New Jersey guy. Have you ever listened to early Joe Rogan? That freaking caller about licking out our pussy and all this kind. That's Joe Rogan. That's Joe Rogan and Red Band. Their first like year was talking about fleshlights and all the pussy they banged. Joe, are you looking for a paternity test? $35 million, you fucking... Don't tell me you can't afford it. You want to attack me? Get the press. Get the press, you filthy fucking animal. Yeah, he does. Because there's something, they say it's genetic. He's on freaking way fucking too many drugs and just so much testosterone. See, a chud? Oh, man. Can you imagine me, like TK's wife and shit? Can you imagine his anger issues then? We know. There's a whole lot of guys. You ever hear about Derek? Over at work? Well, anyway, there's this dude, Ted. And Derek, they were at a schoolhouse. They were staying in a hotel. And Derek said he walked and he didn't like Jerry, right? He didn't like him. And so he saw Jerry. You know how Ruby attacked Grace? Well, apparently, that's how Derek attacked his coworker. He just walked him and knocked his friggin', and he brags about it. I saw him smiling and shit, and I knocked him, and I'm on the foot, boom, boom, boom. That's what we have to deal with. And everybody fucking knows it. Everybody. Question is, TK. You know Derek Fisher? Fish, nigger. Fish. We've had this problem going on a long time. A long fucking time. He's probably with the other fucking... No, man, he's a rapist. He's a pedophile. The fucking nigger. I ain't firing you. I don't have the power to. But if you fucking bankrupted the company, you stupid motherfuckers. See, this is why I smoke. I'm going to go stand out there and wait for her to be physically assaulted in public. Run away. What you gonna do? Man, I'll be a cop, man. He'd be assaulting me. See, where's talk? If you fucked a little teen girl, you nigger, and they cut your fucking dick off. Well, I mean, you're pushing it. See, he's going to be exposed. Joe Rogan knows. This ain't New Jersey. We're going to the club. You know, this is a fucking small town. And it's being split. Because there are guys who've been in prison for your nigger shit. There are people who've been framed up. And they're out there. It's how bad do you want this army? Yeah, there you go. See, he's not in yet. Yeah, he knocked a woman's teeth out. So you're exposing this fucking thing. Well, fortunately, I'm around so many people with missing teeth. That's the game out here, is to knock teeth out. It's like, man, it's only dating you because you have teeth. If you didn't have teeth, man, you know what it's like to have teeth? My dad pulled his teeth out with a pair of pliers, fucking Chris Lopez, you fake fucking Indian. You know what's really funny about that, Reptile Man? Or it's not funny, haha. But my missing girlfriend, the one from Ohio, she had her teeth grafted back in. She had her teeth knocked out. She has a protruding rib that never healed. She has like screws in her ankle from when it was like, was it UTK? Did you do that to Lady Blag? Did you do that to Lady Blag? Yeah, I think he's a Marine. Hey, TK. Oh, look, it's still soft. It's still soft, Orlando. How these people are so connected. Yeah, that was my girlfriend. I think they went back to Silencer. As soon as TK hits the news, it's probably not the first. It's probably not the first woman that disrespected him. There are probably others. Yeah. Yeah, the Blags. I don't think he's a Blag. But I really feel that a lot of Ohio people came out here. See, we have two different cultures. We talk multiculturalism. Mm-hmm. And then we have my cousin Heather's pimp boyfriend, the heroin addict. Yeah, we have issues. We have issues. Guys like me were not raised that way. And to try to conceptualize that, the single mother that I was living with, she would try to have intimate moments and talk about that she was emotionally, mentally, and physically abused. What's that mean to you? When a woman is like kind of curled up talking about her history of mental, emotional, and physical abuse. Mm-hmm. Well, only the ladies can do that. I have no evidence. I would never even suspected. Isn't that funny how these people operate? I would have never, ever even suspected. Yeah, Jessica Chambers isn't my ex, but I was living with a woman who kind of reminded me of, looked like a Jessica Chambers. Yeah, Jessica Chambers tried to break up with her black boyfriend and got set on fire. Wow. Well, I don't have a name to Google. Yeah, yeah. I was reading that on. I was reading that on the Conservative Treehouse. They had a big series, and they're doing their own like journalistic investigation. They said the FBI came to them and like really like intimidated them into stop reporting on it because of the problems. Yeah, that's a very interesting story. It's so interesting. I think I'll actually do a screen share here. Oh, you're talking about the Hickerson guy. Okay, that's the one you're telling me to. Okay. Okay. Let me do my screen share. There we go. I mean, is this the first entry? Remember how DeAndre Joshua was killed? Remember the murder technique? Ooh, no, I don't. Unavailable. Day of birth. See, my roommate was born in 90. Yep, this is when I was living with my roommate, and I was with my roommate, and you're like a beautiful blonde girl also, who seems to have some, well, they going after, yeah, he owns the white man. Family members of a teenager burned alive on Saturday night are desperate for answers. The heinous found burning near her car. It was also engulfed in flames. She was flown to a hospital in Memphis, but later died. Early autopsy results revealed that Jessica died from severe burns that covered 98% of her body. Father Ben Chambers said investigators told him his daughter was set on fire. When the fire department got there, she was walking down the road on fire. He said only part of her body that wasn't burned was the bottom of her feet. As he continued as he held back tears. He squirted lighter fluid down her throat and in her nose. And they apparently knocked her out. She had a big gash on the top of her head. In her last breath, she may have sent investigators down her killer's trail. She told him who'd done it, Chambers said. Investigators won't say what Jessica said or released chilling details about how she died. Interesting, they say investigators won't release details, but we have details here. Oh yeah, that's right, because the FBI said it could inflame a race war. I love you. Works as an employee for Panola County Sheriff's Office. He has faith that his friends, co-workers will get to the bottom of the crime. So we'll to ask Jessica. Assistant Attorney Jay Hill knows something about community and is pleading. Yeah, so this is the very first article that they released. I think they have up to 30 follow-up articles as they were doing investigations. I'm going to scroll to the bottom of this because there's some like really interesting things. Okay, so they must have another one. See, there's a thing that in later reporting. Wow, you had an army attachment? What kind of people do we have here? There was I have a friend who actually had her hand reattached. Amazing what like medicine can do. Yeah, so anyway, apparently, like some black women in the area had posted on Facebook. Yeah, this was right after the George Zimmerman acquittal. I think this was after the George Zimmerman acquittal, and they were so angry that George Zimmerman got acquitted of the Trayvon Martin thing that they said, like, burn the white bitches. That black women were on Facebook, and local women were saying we need to rape and burn the white bitches. I mean, if he owns white men, he must own the white women too. Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, they talk about like hate speech, right? Yeah. See, that's the thing. When the white people run away, I was having this conversation. I was reading a soldier. I picked up a Soldiers of Fortune magazine one time years ago, and I was flipping through it, and it was an account by a guy who was in like a security detail in the White House, and he like sat in on meetings, and he was just saying like some of the stuff like with Hillary running these things, they're having a thing about how like to do welfare, and Hillary said like the problem was that when they meaning Hillary moves black people into places that have better welfare, the white people move. And that's the problem. It's constantly this white flight. They have to keep on moving the black people to get them back with the white people, because the white people are the taxes. Yeah, that's what they say. White people are the taxes. So, well, it's like free labor, right? Because if he owns them, they're slaves. I gotta see receipts for this shit. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Sorry, I'm incommunicado with my brother. Well, right now nothing's really selling. So if they're not getting loans to buy houses, a good chance it's just because nothing's selling and people's credit is shot. I'm like sitting here. I'm like, well, anyway, weapons. I did about 3, 4, maybe a half a year of karate, and our instructor, he was very adamant on teaching us it's a self defense, it's a Tai Chi, how to move out of the way of danger, and he's one of those guys. It's not like jiu-jitsu. See, jiu-jitsu that was real popular with the MMA, it's about like one-on-one stuff. It's about like one-on-one. Where in my dojo, he was like very rarely is not really one-on-one, because most likely there'll be like more of them, pack animals. So we had like how to get out of the center of it and like get them all, because you don't want somebody in your back and everything. And he said some really good advice, and it's like sunk in even at I must have been 12 years old, 11, 12 years old. He said, don't be like, even if you get a black belt, don't be all cocky and be, oh man, I can win these fights and stuff. No, he said something that really stuck in. He said, you get in a fight with somebody who's been in 20 years of prison fights, who's been practicing fighting in prison. Oh boy, you gotta be ready to use anything as a weapon. You gotta be ready to use anything as a weapon. Trash can lids, bottles, pipes, just anything. Because there's more than one. There's more than one of them. Oh, this country's full of more than just one of them. There are a lot of old ladies, old hippie ladies out here who like, oh, they hate me. Why? Because I think these were the race mixers. You know, I don't have a value judgment on it. I'm just saying those kids, those foreign kids, those kids that these women had, like Drake. You know, Drake's like half Jewish, half black. Half Jew and half black. The future. More money, more sales than Elvis Presley and Michael Jackson combined. How many Drake songs can you sing along with? Drake has more album sale money, allegedly, unless they're just the international sex, arms, and drug traffickers. International sex, arms, and drugs. Well, that's Drake for you. That's musical superstar Drake. And it's another thing, because it's like he lists all this Israeli stuff. He's not allowed. Like, actually, because he does have he would pass the DNA test. But the problem is, one of his parents is a Palestinian. And in Israel, it is illegal for an Israeli to marry a Palestinian. The Palestinian cannot enter the country. They cannot receive state benefits. They cannot receive state reparations. I don't know how you feel about Israel. This isn't Israel. So we have a lot of those marriages here. But we also don't have reparations. Reparations is something between Germany and Israel, not the United States. Now, they're probably looking for anybody with German heritage. They're probably trying to find anybody, because any excuse. That's what they do now. All they do is like they sit and try to justify why somebody owes them something. That seems all a school does. There's all these lawyers. They owe you money. We need to go and get that money from him because it's restorative justice. So, I wonder what Ruby's up to. Because it took a long time to convince Ruby that I'm not after her. To try to convince her that I think we have a very vested mutual interest. Man, can you imagine what Ruby could do with Drake's money? Could you imagine what Ruby could what would that be like then? Well, of the people around, Ruby seems the most musically gifted. She seems the most I mean, yeah, she's a musician. Her lyrics are fire. Her the videos she puts together. It's almost like, if you ever had those, you ever run into the rumor that there's a jock, but his girlfriend does the homework. Have you ever heard that? Like these guys' girlfriends do their homework for them so they can pass and go become sports ballers and shit. She's streaming it? Oh well. Yeah, the other because I have a list of suspects. So my brother who's in hospice care, the one who has tube in his throat, freaking feeding tubes in his stomach, can't really move around or talk and shit. He's had a series of best friends growing up, and for a while one of his best friends was this Indian, a Native American, and he was played off. He's a Native American. Oh, it beat you wide. It probably is. It probably is Lopez. Hey everybody, I think it is Chris Lopez, the Native American. So anyway, because he's spicy and different, he was the girl go getter. And my brother had the most beautiful girlfriend of them all. I mean, if you just looks, because he had a friend Andrew who had a girlfriend Peyton. And they were a very nice couple back in the day. Apparently, it was they had this idealistic young romance type of thing. Hmm. Yeah. Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, that actually might be who beat up my film director. That might actually beat up my film director. I thought they had Geronimo's skull before George Bush. Oh, I haven't heard anything about that. I heard that years ago that other Yale students broke into their Skull and Bones lodge and stole the skull. Yeah, he's a Native American. He's a black guy. He's a Muslim. He's anything. He's anything that'll get him fellow let's go get the white man. Man, he's just everything. Well, I don't know if it's coincidentally, Ruby seems to like Yale. Yale is a very prestigious. Remember Goodwill Hunting? How about them apples? Ooh. Oh, I know. I know. Well, I actually I don't know. But the Bourne, remember the Bourne series? Like TK is like cast in the Bourne Identity. Well, I think Jason Bourne is an assassin who's like just trying to leave assassinating people or something. A rogue assassin. Yeah, there's like weird stuff everywhere. Just I don't bother with it. The Indiana Jones stuff was pretty cool, and yet some things do cross over into, are we like breaking, entering, and tomb robbing? There's a DVD I got over at the library, and I forget what the title was, but it had something to do with like Egypt. In the opening scene is like Akhmet my to the second's like tomb has been robbed. They caught people robbing a pharaoh's tomb, and they draw and quarter him, which means they like have 4 horses and they tear his limbs apart till there's like just one, and his body's being pulled along by one horse and one limb. And they're like, how can we make it like a curse where people won't rob the tombs? Because to them, the pharaoh or the person in the tomb, they still like exist with their things, and so it's like a literal robbery. Very interesting movie. So the crystal thing, I heard they were doing National Treasure 3. Then there's antiquities markets. It's like when I'm just hanging out with people who are just so desperate to sell Pokemon cards or comic books or anything. They're just selling like anything. This is money. This is money. Dude, that's not food. That is not food. And you're not going to go and suddenly become a farmer and shit. You just go like, you just want more pussy and more drugs. See, he's actually quite a good businessman. Because when people are ordering pussy, drugs, weapons, they're there. I have happened to order none of those. You can buy some art, but they want money, right? You've seen, well, speaking of Nicolas Cage, have you seen Lord of War? You ever seen Lord of War with Nicolas Cage? Oh, there's a scene. There's a scene when they have 2 trucks full of weapons. And Nicolas Cage is sitting there with this African warlord, and he's getting paid in diamonds, right? Diamonds and gems. And the warlord pulls out this bag of gems and he puts it on a table. And Nicolas Cage is like, he has 2 trucks full of weapons. But Nicolas Cage is a younger brother who has like really conscience problems about what they're doing. And he freaks out because they know they're going to use these to kill villagers. So Nicolas Cage's brother goes and he throws like a grenade in one of the trucks, blows it up to get rid of half the weapons, and he kills his brother. And so all of a sudden, you know, half of Nicolas Cage's weapons that he's selling to the African warlord, the warlord just sitting there. And he takes a machete and he uses a machete to divide the jewels, the gems in half. Because now, you know, for half a delivery, it's like it's business. Yeah, and I'm not into Pokemon. I'm not into Pokemon. Now, it's kind of interesting because I've come up with different theories and workable business things. Like, what if the Pokemon like represented a Pokimane? Remember Pokimane? Pokimane is what got really big on the Twitter because she was releasing porn. like the Pokimane porn. I'm pretty sure that's who it was. I remember scrolling through my Twitter feed and I see this one because it was like, I didn't ask for it. I'm scrolling down and there's like this guy's dick sliding in and out of this girl in like the woods. He said it was like a Pokimane porn. So, using that kind of stuff as a substitute, I kind of think that's what's going on. You could put these cards as it's called gratis. It's like the Nipsey Hussle. Remember Nipsey Hussle? Probably you only heard about him when he got killed. Well, anyway, he was like a big pillar of the community that he was helping. And he'd sell his CDs, his like rap CDs and stuff. And I was just thinking, how would that work? Because I bought for $5 a homemade CD from some guys at a 99 cents outside 99 cent store once. I figured, hey, this is far better than like bugging people. So I purchased a CD like that. But I'm thinking of other things. I've had other people who sell stuff. And one guy, he would send you a CD of like jungle songs and things, and then give you a bag of this really high concentration nicotine tobacco. He'd call it gratis because he couldn't sell it directly. So I'm just wondering, like that $150,000 banana, all the ways people have of doing business with large amounts of cash and for a product that's not necessarily what you think it is. Like you put a banana on a scale. Put a banana on a scale. Well, I remember when 2007, 2000. No, I was overseas in 2008. Probably 2007. The first time the second time, doing cocaine and trying cocaine. I was at a bar in New Orleans, hanging out with a bartender and her boyfriend. She got off shift, and her boyfriend is there. I'm like, hey, you want to come? Because I was a pretty sociable regular. So I'm hanging out with the bartender and her boyfriend. Like, would you like a bumpy and little bottle of white stuff? It's like cocaine. And it's like a little teaspoon. Like not a teaspoon, just a little bit. I was like, oh. I tried just a little bump. Didn't try it again for years. And then New Orleans. Then it was a New Year's Eve, and my friends are in. They make a lot of money. They made at the time. One of my friends was making like $20,000 to $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month doing mortgages. And so he was like, "You want to go to a party?" And we went, and he's like, $100 a gram. That was what it went for back then. Now I hear like the products are laced with stuff, and I just don't know. I'm too poor. I'm too poor to be that kind of drug addict. I'm wealthy enough to be able to afford it, and poor enough to understand that the ramifications of getting addicted to it and buying it and getting illegal problems. See, I'm watched. I can't do illegal shit. I got a DUI on my bicycle. You think I'm going to get away with like buying narcotics and shit? That's why I'm just like, we got other things. This old war on drugs. Just let them on. You find they hauling a bunch of freaking stuff. I don't know what it is. Let them go. Maybe it's C4 and they blow up something. I don't know. See, I figured they were going to try it. Now, one of my funnest things is because I've never monetized my channels, but on my Twitch, I was hunting around, and I don't know, I forget whose crypto wallet it is, but I was looking at some of the female streamers, and I was going through codes and stuff. I was just searching, and somebody, one of them, I don't know if it was because I have Mel's crypto wallet. but I thought it was LivSticks. So I put a crypto wallet on my description. The donate don't donate here, right? But it's not my crypto wallet. So if they did use my channel to transfer money in, making it look like, that's not me. That's my rave partner. Oh, my old rave partner. I don't know where she is. I don't have access to that wallet. Somebody who knows how crypto works is going to have to do the back slooping. Hey, Iran Contra. Oh boy, to do like real social studies, to try to look for the Panama Papers, the FARC bank accounts. I don't have access to these things. I don't have access to these accounts, guys. If LivSticks and Pussy Riots ran away with your money, I can't help you. Oh, look at all these old CIA dudes. Look at all these CIA dudes staging a coup against the democratically elected government. Oh my goodness. They're doing it. They're staging a coup! Coup! Michael coup! Yeah, the one big reasons I left don't go to my church anymore, because I'm pretty sure my big dick pastor is like slinging his dick around with all the friggin' women and teenagers and shit. Because that seems to be what they do in the South. You want proof that the South started the Civil War? Mm-hmm. Yeah, just walk out there, just get the cameras, let them assassinate me in public for, he said the N-word in Are You America? That is not okay. That is not okay. It made TK cry. He obviously owns these bitches. TK obviously owns what? Because why? They bought drugs from him? These are guys freaking buying drugs, buying heroin. People setting up their kingdoms in Ethiopia. Do you know for like $500 a month you can live in a mansion in Ethiopia?
Hello.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing pretty good. It's like I got this thing and we get go to the house. Wait, good bed shot. I suppose that 8-hour contract was like over, so I might have to go liquidate my investments. Move on better than Knight and Swift and shit. The trucking consolidation time. Some of these guys, boys, they're gonna have to freaking sell. I can't see the gas prices they can hold down Schmoggy's independence. That's it on me. I'm just an advisor. Almost an analyst. How will this bill affect the overall economy? That's why you got your state policy analyst too. You got the your disposal. Show me the bill. I will compare my trend analysis to your chat GPT to see how the AI do against the owl.
You know, with the state of our economy, it is so nice when I see a guy who likes his job. He'd be like, I have a job. I'm doing really well. See those homeless people over there? That's not me. That's what I like about the working man. They prideful not to be on that government welfare, earning their own pay with their own hard work. That's the way I see it. I used to be a pessimist, but now I'm an optometrist. Gobbledygook. What kind of messages were you sending? Well, there's another way you could do it. You could scan the barcode, and if you have access to their real actual database, they have all this stuff inventoried. Like the company actually knows what cards are on what packs. So if you get access to that kind of thing, you can just be like, just scanning barcodes. Ugh. Well, sometimes you have to go in disguise when you are on top secret missions. It's like finding those joke thieves like George Lopez. I heard that George Lopez in the comedian circles, they hate him because he be stealing jokes. Now, I don't know about stealing jokes, but I think somebody stole my joke. Yeah, so interesting. Yeah. The really only Mitch Hedberg joke that I can remember is the one about koalas. That was like one of the funniest shit, because it's like, what are you? It's like, I had a apartment and I turned my lights on and cockroaches, they scattered. Wouldn't it be have a koala infestation? Turn your lights on, you'd like, come back, koalas, I want to hug you. Yeah, that was a very unique kind of stand-up. You know, many other people have done those things too. I'm not privy to the wide variety of comedians. It's like what Joe Rogan talked about, the golden age of comedy. Golden age of comedy, where they were like, just, what was that, the 80s? And yet the thing is that sometimes there's a backlash. Because, oh, you think it's funny? You know, all those people just died. That's what got, who was it? Was it, oh, what is that guy? Gottfried. Was it Gottfried? Gilbert Gottfried, yeah. After the Fukushima thing, he said some joke about like Japanese floating down the friggin' river or ocean or something. Aflac! Ben from Aflac. The new commercials. Bitch, Ben from Aflac, you know, like Jake from Allstate. Yeah, depending what's the term for it? It's like the BitTorrent network, where like you can't shut it down because it's so many nodes of interconnected things. There are people who apparently are very skilled at well, what they call false flag. I don't want to use that word. They gave it such a thing. No, it's just business. If you're not going to pay us for protection, well, it'll be your fault. Yeah, the guys who blow us are killing people. It's like, that's what our insurance seems to be. That's what it's like, protection for what? You either buy my car, my window repair service, or you're gonna just come out. They did that. In my neighborhood where I grew up at, there was somebody opened up a car, like a car window repair shop. It was a repair shop for car windows, right? And we got flyers. They put flyers all over the neighborhood on car windows, like cracks and like the little repairs, chips, cracks, all those things. Your car window, the window repair. 2 weeks later, apparently a pack of teenagers went down the street and smashed all the windows of the cars parked there. Like about 2 weeks, a month after the store opened, people in the neighborhood had their car windows smashed. Oh, whoa, that's one of the hardest investigations I ever, but true. It's like you say, hey, it's common to say it just makes and yet proofing it. I mean, unless you catch one of these kids and show that they're like the kid or the brother and stuff, just going to get business. It's like this $150,000 medical bill probably works for the doctors. These rural hospitals is like, the rural communities need, because they want to get out of the cities. They want to get out of the cities, but they also need money. It's like there's a movie, Doc Hollywood, and she kind of shows that small town doctor. I don't know how much, but the small town doctor probably been there a long time and doesn't have rent and maybe doesn't go on Hawaiian vacations and stuff like that. It's a small town doctor. And then they build this state of the art hospital with all the. It's like we haven't. All of a sudden people are getting their heads smashed in. All these freaking things. Hey, Long Cool Woman, LCW. How much did it cost to have your arm reattached? Like, how much was that? Yeah, that's a problem. Down in Sacramento, they are building hospitals. It's like, this is going to be the world state-of-the-art nursing medical hospital. People are going to study. We're going to have so many students coming. Where are you going to get the patients from? Oh, wow, you build a hospital and they will come, right? Like hundreds of millions of dollars in investments in this hospital. Staff, like $100,000 a year minimum, $500,000 a year doctors, all these things, a pharmacy, all this stuff, right? And then all of a sudden, people would say, we have like, They said it was homophobic hate crimes. Back in the mid to late 2000s, there was issue where people were driving around the downtown area, and they would jump out and beat people with baseball bats. He said it was the gay men. But that makes sense, Gay men tend to have the most extra money to spend. It's like the single man pocketbook. But anyway, yeah, that's just the devolution into pure animalism. All these people who like wearing a suit and tie and oh man, I'm so good, and then it's just like, I need money. Yeah, we need money. Yeah, I need money. You need money. They need money. They need money. He needs money. She needs money. Everybody needs money. Hour and 30 minutes. I think I might end this here. And chances are I'll be back later on. I'm going to check and see who else is on. So this was a fun stream. I got to joke around a little bit. And turn the air conditioner on. It's one of the very interesting things. Our relationship as an American. They say we're like the richest country, and maybe perhaps the American mindset is that we always have air conditioning. You can like just adjust the temperatures. Well, this one seems like it's kind of breaking down. And back in 2010, over at my reserve center, one of the guys was HVAC. What's that stand for? I forget what it stands for. But it's the kind of temperature control, heating and air conditioning. So he is an HVAC technician. And boy, like business was really, really good. Or at least it was good because he's a dual income and he had a wife that was a nurse. But yeah, the repair technicians. The people who only get paid per job. Oh yeah, you get paid $20 an hour. Cool. $20 an hour times 8 hours. Nope. Only when you have a job. So you have to have somebody who has enough money to pay to have things fixed. And then we get to California where it's very special because it's like to equate the gods, to equate the Roman pantheon on gods with people with this. So St. Augustine, in his City of God treatise book, he's going through like the overwhelming number of gods that the Roman pantheism would have. It expanded to thousands. Like he started out, but then expanded. And he equated it, and the sacrifice, if you consider like paying people a sacrifice. So he said, but guys, to have a door, right? Each part of the door had the god of the door frame, the god of the door hinges, the god of the doorknob. What else goes on the door, right? God of the door knocker. I don't know if they had it in Rome. Probably. It's very simple. But each part. And from where I work, in order to like hire and expand and give as much money to, spread the wealth, we have people who literally like their job would be, well, I am the door. I'm the screw specialist. Like when you put the hinges on. Bill's job is to hold the hinge, and my job is to screw it in. Like instead of one person who can like, instead of one person, now you have two people. Well, actually, if you have one person who holds the thing, holds the hinge and flange, one person who holds the screw, and the other that does the screwdriver. Quite the narrative. Oh, hey, Chris Lopez. I don't know if you're Chris Lopez or not, but boy, oh boy, Adam will be so happy to see you